Hello, friends. So, first of all, we have to understand what is Forex. So, in the world trade, in the export import of commodities, cross border movement of manpower and capital travel, tourism, and export of services all necessitate the need for exchange of currencies of one country to another. For example, let us suppose that you are visiting USA in a trip, in a holiday trip. So when you reach USA, the Indian currency will not work there. So for that purpose, you have to exchange Indian rupee in USD, or you can say US dollar. Or we can take one more example. Let us suppose that one US tourist is coming to India, then US dollar will not work out here. So he has to exchange that US dollar to Indian currency. So this necessitates the exchange of currency of one country to another country. Now, we are going to see some of the terms here like export. So export like good manufactured in India and sent to USA will be paid in US dollar. And then what will happen? Then Indian exporter will need to visit bank and get converted that US dollar into Indian rupee. And same scenario will happen with the import. Let us suppose that import of a capital good from Germany to India will be billed in euro. Then what will be requirement? That importer need to visit the bank to convert that rupees into euro because he has to pay that company which is located in Germany. Like Indian importer or exporter, the US dollar or euro is the foreign exchange. Understood? Means Indian importer and exporter will have to convert that Indian rupee in US dollar or euro dollar. That US dollar and euro will be called as a foreign exchange for that Indian importer and exporter. And similarly, American or German importer exporter, the Indian rupee will be the foreign exchange for them. That means for we Indian, the euro and dollar be the foreign exchange, and importer or exporter of other country, the Indian rupee will be the foreign exchange. Okay. Now, as per the FEMA, that means Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, how this foreign exchange is defined. So all deposits, credits, balance payable in foreign currency or any draft, traveler check, letter of credit and bills of exchange expressed or drawn in Indian currency and payable in any foreign currency are called foreign exchange. Means all deposits, credits means when you are doing any business, whatever is payable in foreign currency, that is called foreign exchange. Similarly, any instrument payable at the option of dry or holder or any third party, if they are wishing, okay, I want to convert that instrument in the foreign currency, then also this foreign exchange will be applicable. Okay, so now for that purpose, because exchange is not so easy, like if you want to convert $1 in Indian rupee, approximately nowadays you will be 76 rupees. That means $1 equal to 76 rupees. Similarly, euro dollar, maybe I'm just taking hypothetical example, 86 rupees. So all foreign currencies, they are having their exchange rate, and this is called agreed rate. So on this basis, this agreed rate, the foreign exchange takes place. Okay, moving ahead. Now, what is this foreign exchange market? Because when the exchange is taking place, there is need for the foreign exchange market also. So foreign exchange market comprise a large spectrum of market in which the participants include individual, business entities, commercial bank, investment bank, central bank, cross-border investors, and speculators across the globe who buy and sell currencies for their needs. Okay, so in foreign currency, what happened? It is only the communication system based market where there is no boundaries, there's no physical boundaries, and this foreign market means foreign exchange market operate round the clock. There's no boundary, there's no brisk wall, there's no market, only telephonically. Okay, only communication based market. Okay, like nowadays because communication system has increased, so this market is taking place round the clock, and there's no boundaries at all. That means you might have seen the vegetable shop where the people are keeping their shop there, they are selling in the physical market. So foreign exchange is not having such type of physical market because it is very vast area. It's covering global markets. It's also called global market. It's covering entire world like this. And now we'll see who are actually the participants of this foreign exchange. So I'll just see once again here. Central bank is here, commercial bank is here, investment fund managers are here, forex brokers are here, corporations are here, and any individual can also participate in this foreign market, foreign exchange market. So we'll see one by one. Like central bank, what is the role of central bank in India? Central bank is called RBI. So Reserve Bank of India, what is the role of Reserve Bank of India? So it manages the forex market and using currency market strive to reduce the volatility and smoothen out the value of their home currency. So that means they control the whole of the forex market so that Indian rupee is not become so volatile. That means it remain stable. Okay, and all commercial bank means you might have seen that you can see S Bank, City Bank, ICICI Bank, Axis Bank, Canara Bank, Indian Bank, all Bandhan Bank, including private public sector banks. They also offer exchange of currencies to their big and retail clients, and hedging and investing their own assets and liabilities so as on behalf of their client, and also speculate on exchange rate movement in the market. That means they also go for the investment. They want to earn profit and they want to hedge. Hedge means to reduce risk. Means if in some currency the loss is going out, so they will purchase some other currency, the profit is there. Or if they think okay the rate of this currency will go down, so they will immediately sell out that. So this is called hedging. And speculate means immediately make profit. Like they will think okay the rate of the future US dollar will go, so they immediately purchase the US dollar so that they can make the profit, and within 1 or 2 days they will sell out to make the profit. So that means this is called hedging and speculate. And moving ahead, investment and fund banks, like what investment fund and fund managers they do, they're moving fund from one country to another using exchange market as a vehicle for investment, as also hedging. Some of the investment fund managers they also go for the making profit from one country to another country. And corporations, so you might have seen the I've seen the picture of five here. Google is there, Amazon is there, Apple is there, Microsoft is there, General Motors is also coming the corporation. So they also invest in foreign currency to make profit and for the trade purpose, and even for the speculation purpose also they invest in foreign currencies. Okay, and forex brokers. So might have seen nowadays many forex brokers are there who act as a middleman between the participants, many participants. Okay, like in India and US, Euro. So many nowadays forex brokers also they also participate in the foreign market. And not only the one individual also, ordinary or high net worth, they can also invest in foreign market. They go for the trade, they go for the personal need also. I just took example like we are going to USA, then you have to purchase the US dollar, and after returning back you can to sell US dollar. So that means individual also based on their need they also participate in this forex market. Global forex market handles a total turnover of approximate $5.1 trillion per day. $5.1 trillion per day. While the daily world trade turnover is approximately 2% of this forex turnover. That means business point of view, means country to country business. Import export is only 2%. Then where the 98% is going? So 90% is going only for the profit making, means investment and speculative trading. So this shows that most of the global forex market is done only for the investment purpose and speculative trading only. And not only that, forex market is very highly dynamic. That means rate of major currencies such as USD, GBP means Great Britain pound, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, euro, they keep on fluctuating every 4 seconds. That means you count 1, 2, 3, 4, the rate of dollar will change. Again you count 1, 2, 3, 4, the rate of other currency will change. So they keep on changing every 4 seconds. So this shows that in 24 hours, number of changes are 21,600. So this is shows that how dynamic is the forex market. Next characteristic is the bulk of forex market or OTC. This term is you have to remember that OTC means over the counter. Over the counter means out of the counter, is not conventional. You go to counter and you purchase the forex. So bulk of, that means trades are concluded through telephone or other electronic system with internet accessibility on mobile app. You download the app, you can access the forex market and you can buy or purchase as per your convenience. And major banks, like you might have seen all the PSBs and private sector banks and other banks also, means foreign banks also, they act as two-way court, means broker. They act as a broker. Okay, so they offer always two-way codes, means one code is for the buying and other code is for the selling. Okay, so they facilitate the buyer for their needs. Okay, and they help the buyer to invest in this forex market. Now we'll see what are the factors which determine the exchange rates. The major factors which are classified into three parts are: number one is the fundamental region, number two is the technical region, and number third means speculative. Speculative means profit making. And I'll just revise once again here: fundamental regions, technical region, and speculative. And fundamental region is further divided into 6 parts. So we'll see one by one. These are balance of payment, economic growth rate of the country, fiscal policy issued by the government, and monetary policy issued by the central bank, like our RBI is here. Interest rate, what is prevailing interest rate in the country is there, and number of political issues are there. So we'll see one by one briefly, like balance of payment. So balance of payment is basically related to surplus leads or deficient. So I mean to say here, it is related to import and export. If export is more, that means the country will generate more forex. So this means surplus leads to stronger home currency. And deficit means if import is more, it will weaken the home currency. I'll just explain here. Stronger means the currency is appreciating, means other currency is decreasing, because these are vice versa. If home currency is appreciating, so other currency will automatically depreciate. So I'll just take one example. Let's say today rate of US dollar is 76 rupees. And if our home currency is appreciating, or we can say it is becoming stronger, then the rate of dollar will decrease. So instead of 76 rupees, it will be 75 rupees or below that. So this is called stronger and weakening. Next is that economic growth rate. So high growth rate leads to a rise of import. and fall in the value of home currency and vice versa. So you may link here. That means if more import is there, the home currency will weaken, and more export is there, home currency will become stronger. So this is the relation between the economic growth rate of the country. Now, dealing with the fiscal policy and monetary policy, fiscal policy is issued by the government of India. So expansionary policy means where the lower taxes are there, that will lead to higher economic growth, and where high economic growth is there, that will leads to import, and finally it will weaken the home currency. Next, monetary policy. So monetary policy issued by the central government, uh, not central government, central bank such as RBI. And what is the role of this central bank? Central bank tries to attempt to influence and control the interest and money supply. And what is the role of interest and money supply? Money supply also impact the value of currency of their country. So just I'll sum up: fiscal policy and monetary policy both have a greater role in deciding the exchange rates of the Indian rupee. Okay. Now next we'll see the what is the interest rate. So high domestic interest rate tends to attract overseas capital. If interest rate are high, the people of the other country will invest in our country, and it will leads to attract overseas capital, and thus currency will appreciate. But keep in mind, this will be only the short term duration. Then what is the impact in longer duration? If you see, high interest rate will slow the economy down, thereby weakening the currency. So I'll just repeat here, what is the role of the interest rate? In the short term, high interest rate is good, but in the long term, high interest rate is not good for the currency. Means it the interest rate continue for a longer duration, it will weaken the home currency. But short duration, it is good for the country. So this point you have to keep in mind. Okay, and we'll take the last point here, the political issue. Means I have taken the last point of the fundamental reason. So what is the political issue? Stable government is very good for the economic growth of the country. Political stability always lead to economic stability, and hence a steady currency, while political instability would have the opposite effect. So that you might have seen in our country also, for many years there might have been many political issues. So due to that, our home currency, means Indian rupee, keep on fluctuating up to some extent. So these were the fundamental reasons. Now we'll see the technical reasons also. Government control can also lead to unrealistic values. Okay, sometimes what happens, the government also impose some restrictions, that is also lead to change in value of the Indian rupee. And free flow of capital from lower interest rate to higher interest rate, as just we have discussed here, these also affect the rate of the currency. And very important last point is the speculative. Higher the speculative, higher the volatility in the rates, because people, those who are investing, I told you in the first also, 98% is business of the forex is done for the speculative and profit making. So people, they are trying to earn more profit due to the forex exchange. So that means higher the speculative, higher the volatility in the rates of the Indian rupee or any currencies there. Now we'll see exchange rate mechanism, like how this forex dealing is settled. So what is the main factors here? Main factor is the time zone of the different countries. Like you might have seen in the picture I've shown here, if in India, if it is 2:40 in the afternoon, you can say in the New York it is going to be morning at 5:10. Okay, that means in India, if market is going to be closed, Market is going to be closed after 2.5 hours, but still in New York, market will not be open. So this is the difference between time zones. So due to the vastness of the market operating in different time zones, most of the forex deals are done on spot basis. Okay, we'll see what is the term here. Spot basis here means that delivery of the fund takes place on the second working day. Second working day means if deal is done today, second working day you just count. One is today is the first, you can count 2 3, it means 1 plus 2 3. So second working day the deal will be done, because due to the time difference of the different countries. And rate at which the such deals are done are known as spot rates. Okay, and keep in mind, spot rates are the base rate for the other forex rates also. So whenever the dealing is done, nothing is mentioned the dealing, so it is considered that it has been done only in the spot rates. Now we'll see, other than the spot rates, there are also some rates also here. So you can see here, ready or cash, tom stand for tomorrow, and spot. So we have already told you spot will deal once again, and then forward. Okay, so we'll see one by one. So ready or cash, if settlement of fund takes place on the same working day, means on the date of deal. Like I took example, if today is the first, or you can say today is the 17th October. Okay, any date you can assume. Then if deal is done, means transaction is settled today only, then this deal is called ready or cash. Like in our day-to-day market, if you go marketing, we also do settlement on the ready or cash basis only. So I've given example here. If deal date is 11th October 2021 and settlement of currency is done on a same day, that means 11th October 2021, so this is called ready or cash. Same. Second example you can see here. If deal is done on 10th March 2021 and deal means settlement is done on the same day, that means 10th March 2021, then we call it is ready or cash. Okay. Now we'll see Tom. If settlement of fund takes place on the next day, Tom stands for tomorrow. Next day. From the deal of the day, means you add +1, then it is called Tom rate or tomorrow. I'll just take one example here. If deal is done, means today you have done the deal, but settlement of means exchange of currency is taking place tomorrow. So today is, let's say today is 11th October 2021, but settlement is done on next day, means 12th October 21. So it will be called as Tom deal. Okay, you can see the second example also. If deal is done on 10th March 2021, but if settlement is done on 11th March 2021, so this is called Tom deal. Means T plus 1. You just add 1, you'll get tomorrow. So this is called Tom deal. Okay, next spot. So settlement of fund takes place on the second working day. Means if deal is done today, T plus 2, just add 2. Like example, I have taken the example 11th October 2021, you just add 2. So we'll get 13th October 2021. So this is called spot rate. Okay. And same second example you can say here, like if deal is done on 10th March 2021, you add 2, you'll get 12th March 2021. Okay. And forward, if delivery or settlement of fund takes place any other day after spot, keep in mind, after spot, then we call it a forward rate. For example, if deal we have done 13th March 2021, spot rate will be +2, means 15th March 2021, but forward rate will be any date after 15. You just remove the 15, any date, means 16 March, 17 March, 18 March, or after 1 month, after 2 months, after 3 months, after 4 months. So any date after spot date will be called as a forward rate. Understood? Now we'll take the second examples also. If deal is done on 1st June, let us say this is the 1st June and spot date will be 3rd June, means 1 plus 2, 3, 3rd June, then forward rate means maybe any date after spot date, means maybe 4th June, 5th June, 6th June, 7th June, 8th June, and it may be July also, any date on July, September, October, whatever. So these all become the forward rate. Okay, so I'll just revise here because these rates are very, very important. I just revise once again here. Means ready or cash if deal as settlement are done on the same date is called ready or cash. Term means deal is done today, then settlement will be next day after 1 day. Okay, and spot will be if deal is done today but settlement is done after 2 days, then it's called spot rate. And forward is any date after the spot is called forward rate. Generally, forward rates are different from spot rates. Means forward rate will be equal to spot rate plus premium. That means we have to add the some value, or forward rates are spot rate minus discount. So we'll take one by one. If forward value of a currency is higher than the spot value, or you can say present value. I repeat once again here. If forward value of a currency is higher than, means costlier, then currency is said to be at the premium. We'll take one example here. Let's say Great Britain pound. The rate of Great Britain pound, today's rate is 1.21 USD, US dollar. And 1 month forward rate, if it is going, that means same, one Great Britain pound becomes 1.2150. So that means 0.0050 rate has increased. So we'll say Great Britain pound has become costlier. So it is called dearer. So this is called premium. So premium, how much premium has been added? So premium has been added 0.0050. That means the rate of Great Britain pound has increased. Next we'll say what is discount. If forward value of currency is cheaper than the spot means present value, then currency is said to be at discount. We'll take one example here. If one Great Britain pound is, not today, we can take here 1.2100 USD, and after 3 months, if rate is becoming of same one Great Britain pound is becoming 1.1100, so this is called at discount. How much discount has been there? So discount is 0.10. So this has become cheaper. So this is called discount. So we have to note here, if one currency is at the premium, the other currency is always said to be at discount. For example, if Great Britain pound is at discount, so naturally the dollar is at the premium. So this is the just reverse we have to accept here. So that means we have to understand here, means one is at discount, the other will be at the premium. Next we have to study here what is the value date. Okay, so this term is more frequently will be using while dealing with the numericals. So what is the value date? This term is used to define the date on which a payment of fund or an entry to an account becomes actually effective. In case of payment on telegraphic transfers, keep in mind this term will be using in numericals also. Telegraphic transfer, the value date is usually the same in both the centers. So in telegraphic transfer, we will take the value date as the same in the both center. That is, payment or respective currencies in each center takes place on the same day, and there will be no gain and no loss. That means we will not put any premium. Okay, that means because we are settling the same date, so there will be no gain or loss to anybody. But If there is time lag between the receipt of fund at one center and payment at another center, then compensation should be paid to the party in the form of interest. Thus, the date of settlement of fund is called the value date. So we have to keep in mind when we'll talk about the value date, that means the date on which the settlement of fund is taking place. Now we'll see here how rates are quoted. So I just take one example here, like USD INR. So USD is kept at the top and INR is kept at the bottom. So 68.10 oblique 11. So this 11 represent in place of 10. How we have to read it? That means 1 USD is 68.10 and 1 USD is also 68.11. But you have always think in term of like you are a banker. Okay. So bank always purchase with this rate. Whatever the lower rate has been quoted at means this is the purchase rate for the bank 68.10 or whoever the dealer is there. So 68.10 is the buying rate for the dealer and 68.11 is the selling rate for the dealer. Means dealer will quote rate like this. So if you are a customer, then you have to think in different way. That means 68.10 will be for your means I'll repeat once again 68.10 for the bank buying and 68.11 is the bank selling rate. So this will be opposite for you. 68.10 will be for your selling rate and 68.11 will be for your purchasing rate. This will be for opposite for yourself, for a customer. Second example, I'll take once again here. Like USD and JPY. JPY means Japanese yen is quoted like this 116.50 oblique 60. So what does this mean? Means 1 USD is 116.50. This is rate for the dealer or bank. They will buy with this rate and at the same time they will sell this Japanese yen with the rate of 116.60. So for customer, this will be opposite. Now we'll see how this means rates are rounded off. So rounding is normally done with the last four digit in the like you can see 00, 25, 5075. Last four means we are talking about the one, two, three, third and fourth. After decimal, third and fourth place. We have to round off. How we have to round off? We take either 00, we'll take either 25, either we'll take 50 or we'll take 75 or any other method as per the given question. But normally we do like this 00, 25, 50 and 75. So let us see one example here. Let's say 1 USD is quoted at 68.9315. So we are going to round off here 15. So we have to see 15 is near to 00 or this is near to 25. So we can see this 15 is near to 25 because 25 difference is 10 but 00 difference is 15. So when we round off, we'll get how much we'll get? We'll get 25. Okay, so that means we'll get 25 here. So that means rounded off value will be 68.9325 will get here because 15 is nearer to 25. Okay, we'll take next example as here, then we'll be more clear. Now rate is given 50.2339. Now you have to think over 39 means last third and fourth digit is nearer to 50 or nearer to 25. So this is nearer to 50. So rounded off will be 50.2350. Okay, I'll repeat once again here. When it is rounded off, it will be 50.2350. So in this way, we can round off the given currency because sometimes they ask the question round off. Okay, round off in this 25, 50 like this. So now next moving ahead, what is arbitrage in exchange? Because arbitrage is one of the technique where the businessman they do when they invest in foreign exchange, they use this technique to earn the profit. So in forex, the arbitrage consists of purchase of one currency for another in one center Okay, they will purchase the currency in one center and immediately, almost immediately, they will sell this currency at the other center, means almost every time. So this transaction is called simple or direct arbitrage. So like say you are in Delhi, so you are purchasing dollar here at the same time for in Dhaka somebody is purchasing. So all sudden you will do the means deal in such a way that buying and selling is done simultaneously. So this is called arbitrage. This is technique used to earn the profit. Okay, and it is called simple if you are doing at one center, means if you are purchasing at one center and selling another center, so they become the simple or direct arbitrage. But if you involve two or more than two centers, then it is called compound or three or more point arbitrage. Means compound arbitrage, we involve two or three centers. Means will you purchasing at two centers and selling at one center, or buying at one center, selling at two different centers. So it becomes the compound arbitrage. Okay. Now we'll see what is direct quotes and indirect quotes. So moving ahead, we'll see what is first direct quotes. So under direct quotes, the local currency is variable, whereas the foreign currency is always fixed. For example, 1 USD. If I take example of today, like 1 USD rupees 70. So 1 USD is fixed here, whereas the rupees keep on changing. So like second example, you can see here 1 USD now becomes 71.20. So day after tomorrow, so let us suppose that USD has become 69.80. So we have seen here 1 USD is fixed where the rupee is changing. So this is called direct quote. Okay, and the rates are called direct as the rupee cost of foreign currency is known directly. That means our rupee is changing, foreign currency is fixed. That's why we call it a direct quotes. Okay, and these direct quotes are also called home currency or price quotation. So you have to keep in mind home currency. This is called home currency. This quotes also called home currency or price quotation. Now opposite to this, that means indirect quotes. Under indirect quotes, the local currency remain fixed, whereas the foreign currency varies. Like for example, if I fix 100 rupees here, so what is the rate of USD dollar? It is 1.47 USD. Let us say to me today, and tomorrow it is becoming cheaper. So rupees 100 is $1.40. We are able to get it. Okay. Again rupees 100 we are getting to 1 point, not cheaper is costlier 1.40. Again 100 rupees we are getting $1.24. Okay, again rate is changing 1.8647 dollars. So rate are varying, sometimes become cheaper, sometimes costlier. So this is called, because under indirect quote local currency is fixed. That means our rupee is fixed 100 rupees, whereas the dollar the rate we are changing. So this is called indirect quotes. So direct quotes means our local currency varies where the foreign currency remain fixed. Opposite to this, indirect quotes, the local currency remain fixed and foreign currency varies. But keep in mind, what is the practice? Global practice is that the maximum rates are quoted at direct quotes. That means in India we also follow this technique. In India, direct quotes are applied. That's why we have seen here in the we are all see now 1 USD is quoted at rupees 68.80 like this, or 69.80, whatever is there. That means dollar remain fixed where the rupee keep on changing. So this is all about, we just repeat once again here. We have studied here direct course, indirect course, arbitrage, and how rates are quoted and how settlement is done, value date is there. So with this we'll finish our video. Thank you very much. And if you are new this channel, you can recommend to your friends, you can subscribe this channel also. It may benefit you in the coming CIB examination. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.